Today's topic is why police departments and police officers can come off as bad at explaining many critical incidents. I'll discuss some of the reasons why ethical police officers can end up looking bad when faced with high profile incidents, and things to keep in mind when watching politicians or the media talk about police incidents. The views in this video are my own. Police personnel are at a disadvantage because they believe that it's important not to compromise ongoing investigations. What I mean by this is police are trained that the release of sensitive information that weighs on the guilt or innocence of someone under investigation, is often wrong, and police didn't decide that it's important to keep sensitive information from premature public release. Courts did. The ethics rules that apply to prosecutions say that if there's evidence that could result in, quote, public condemnation, end quote, of an accused person, that evidence should not be publicly discussed in the media, except through proper disclosure in court. And in theory, this is a really good thing. After all, the police often have information that would make a criminal suspect look really bad. And if the police department paraded that information in front of the media, it could result in public condemnation and could therefore impact the accused person's right to a fair trial. For example, when suspects decide to point guns at police officers, many times the suspect has extensive criminal history and is a prohibited possessor, or a felon whose rights to carry a gun have been taken away by a court. Which kind of makes sense if you think about it. Statistically speaking, it's highly unlikely that an upstanding, law-abiding member of society would point a gun at police officers. So the suspect who has been in prison before, who has been told that they can't carry a gun or they would face significant criminal charges, is now caught by the police, and the suspect knows that if he simply surrenders, he's going back to prison, which can impact the suspect's decision-making and can influence the decision to try to shoot it out with officers. This information, which I think is relevant, very often isn't released to the media by police departments. And it's not released because departments are trying to uphold the ethics rules and don't want to create public condemnation of an accused before a trial. Or another example, if the suspect is yelling direct threats at officers, or even if the suspect is telling officers that he's going to kill them, the release of specific evidence that could make the suspect look bad needs to be weighed against the ethics rules. So, departments often can't release all of the information available about a shooting. But this leads to really distorted media coverage, particularly when politicians or media pundits decide to weigh in on incidents. It often becomes a one-sided debate. Here's another bad part about this situation. If departments do try to release additional information beyond what they do now, there's a real risk that it can impact the department's ability to prosecute civilian suspects or even police officers who engage in criminal conduct. After all, if a suspect's due process rights are violated by a police department, if the release of information or evidence compromises the ability of the suspect to get a fair trial, it could prevent or limit the possibilities of prosecutors securing a conviction. Now, for all that I've presented here, keep this in mind as well. Departments don't keep this information hidden forever. Here in Arizona, all police reports, all interviews, all recordings are eventually subject to public records requests. And for high-profile incidents, the reports and investigations are reviewed by career professionals at the county attorney's office for both accuracy and completeness. In other words, police investigations are thoroughly conducted, even if they don't release information right away. And their work is both double-checked by outsiders and is subject to eventual public scrutiny through public records requests. So the bottom line is this: when it comes to media coverage of police actions and the response or non-response of departments, it's important to ask what the public wants to be the top priority of the department. Does the public want the department's highest priority to be due process, accurate investigations, and eventual convictions for criminal behavior? Or do we want departments to release all information immediately to respond to pundits and politicians right away, even if the release of information could compromise investigations? For me, the answer is clear. The police should uphold the law. They should focus on accurate investigations and the integrity of the criminal justice process, and ethics rules should be maintained. So keep this in mind when you wonder why departments don't say more or release more related to high profile incidents. Oftentimes, it's because departments are trying to do their job and obey the law. If you have questions or thoughts on this issue, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'm Steve Cerbalic. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there. If you'd like more information on this topic, click this video up here, and to subscribe for more videos related to law enforcement issues, click the channel icon here. Videos are released every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Arizona time.